Hi, slightly different intro this time. Welcome to the Podficker Baton Pass for ShutterBug by Iriley. The way this works is that I'm reading chapter number 3, Puppy Wanter 502 read the previous chapter, and Lovegood will be reading the next chapter. The way this works is we'll be passing around the baton, and each of us in this collaboration will be reading a chapter of the fic, and we just keep passing it along. I'll be reading a couple more chapters of this as well. I'm doing a few more later, but we're going in a cycle, I think. Something similar to that. I'll link down below everyone's YouTube so you can find the rest of this, and I'll link the playlist, which will be up. Probably. I'm recording this before most stuff has been worked out, but there should be a playlist. Alright, now let me start with my typical intro. ShutterBug by Iriley. Chapter 3. Author's Notes. Just curious on what tag brought you to this fic. Would love it if you put them in the comments. Alright, now on to the fic. Editing V here. I think the audio sounds like it's skewed to the right. I don't know how that happened. Maybe it's because I recorded it in a different place. I don't know how to fix it. So, that's gonna be in this chapter, I guess. My bad. Oops. I'll try and do better next time. My bad. Waking up slowly, Peter looks around him confused, before the events of yesterday came back to him. Groaning as he moves off the couch and towards the bathroom he saw the day before, he pushes the door open, looking up at the mirror. Pausing as two different colored eyes stare back at him, Peter quickly moves closer to get a better look. "What the hell?" he shouts. Looking at his eyes, Peter sees a familiar brown in his left eye, before seeing the striking green of his right. Rubbing his eyes and blinking a few times, he looks again. Left, brown. Right, green. Confused, Peter backs away from the mirror, only to see a streak of white hanging in front of his face. "What?" he starts, as he runs his fingers through it, the color not coming off. "Doesn't smell like bleach either." Giving up, Peter sighs before moving to get ready. "Need to get a toothbrush," he thinks out loud, grimacing at the taste in his mouth. "Right, not much money. First things first, then," he says as he grabs a paper he found on the table in the living room and a pen he found in the drawer. To do. Get a job, get food and water, get toothbrush and other necessities. Thinking about if he missed anything, he realized that he's not in the systems here. Ignoring the overwhelming fact that he's in another universe for now, Peter stands to finish getting dressed, grabbing the address for potential work as well, and starts his journey back to the library. A quick bus ride and another $5 later, Peter stands in front of Gotham Library. Moving in and past the front desk, opting to move straight to the computer, furthest from the view of any cameras and prying eyes. Logging in with the same passcode from the day before, Peter quickly gets to work on making birth certificates, school records, and a paper trail. Not to mention everything else he'll need to make it look like he was born in this universe. A while after, and Peter now officially exists. "Yay!" he thinks as he stretches. Seeing the time, Peter moves to clear his history and leave. Nodding at the redhead behind the counter as he leaves, Peter makes his way to the nearest DMV. Peter starts to mourn his next few hours when his stomach rumbles. Looking around and spotting a fast food place, he makes a pit stop. "While I'm here," he thinks as he enters. The inside looks to be a themed restaurant based off the local heroes and their villains. The only people there are a few older couples, some construction workers, and a small group of college kids. Walking up to the counter, Peter looks at the meals, making note of his current funds, $85.34, smiling as the worker makes their appearance. "Welcome to Batburger. What can I get for you today?" the teen says, not happy to have to wear the mask and Robin shirt if his frown was anything to go by. Not that Peter blames him. "I'll do the Big Bat meal, large with a soda, and another order of fries, same size," he says before noting the kids' meal comes with a figure of one of the Bat Clan. Smiling, he quickly adds, "And a Robin meal." The teen behind the counter gives a look of shock and then doubt before typing the order in. Handing Peter a large cup and giving him the total. $17.30. He waits as Peter pulls out the money he took with him. About $25 in his wallet, and $40 slipped into the hidden slot in his shoe. Standing to the side, after getting his drink, something called Red Robin Rush, Peter waits for his food. It's not long before his number is called, and Peter makes his way to a table by the window. A booth between him and the group of friends. I should start to look at school soon, too, he thinks, opening his burger. A bat symbol pressed into the bun. Despite the size of the burger, Peter finishes it quickly, before moving into the fries. He made quick work of those as well, as he opens the box to the Robin's meal. Pulling out a small package, Peter opens it to reveal a small yellow figure with a card that says, Signal. Sweet, you got the best one! Startled, Peter looks up to see the group of students had gotten up and moved over to the booth next to him. Duke, you can't just start yelling, a dark-haired man says, as the blonde girl next to him starts to laugh. A dark-haired girl who turns to look at the guy, Duke, has a small smile on her face. Peter starts, not sure what to say. Sorry about him. He gets excited when talking about the figures, the dark-haired guy says with a sigh. I do not. It's not my fault that the signal is the only one I can't seem to get, Duke pouts. Blinking, Peter offers the figure up to Duke, who stops. Nah, man, that's all yours. It doesn't count if I don't get it myself. Speaking of... He trailed off, looking at the counter. He stands up and walks over after a second, leaving his group to sigh and shake their head. Grabbing a fry, Peter sticks it in his mouth when the guy from before starts to talk. I'm Tim, by the way. This is Stephanie. He points to the blonde. And this is Cass, he says, nodding to the dark-haired girl. Nice to meet you. I'm Peter, he says, grabbing his drink and taking a sip as Duke makes his way to the table, opening it and pulling out the package only to reveal a black and blue figure. Aw, man, Nightwing again, he sighs as he lets his head lay on the table. You want it? He asks Peter, before sliding the figure and the meal towards Peter. Shaking his head, Peter starts to deny it when Duke cuts him off. It's fine. We all have the figure, and I'm stuffed. He pats his stomach as if to prove that point. You paid for it, though, he tries to argue. It's fine, really. If you don't eat it, then it'll go to waste, Duke easily counters. Giving up, Peter eats the meal as he listens and talks with the group. Before looking at the clock on the wall, Peter starts to stand. Sorry, I've got to run. I'll see you guys around, he says as he dumps his trash and pockets the two figures, waving as he closes the door and moves quickly to the DMV. Back in the restaurant. The silence hangs in the air for a moment after Peter leaves, but Tim breaks it. You saw his hair, right? And his eye? He asks, getting nods around the table. It's the pit for sure. Why only one eye, though? Steph asks, stealing a fry from Tim's tray. Not sure. He trails off before Duke asks what they're all thinking. Think he has something to do with your case? Sighing as he pushes the fry container to Steph, Tim nods. Chances are high, not many running around with signs of the pit. We'll have to tell Bruce, Tim says as he looks at the door Peter walked out of. At the DMV. After 2 hours of waiting, Peter finally gets to talk to someone and get physical copies of his paperwork. And a half-hearted, I'm sorry for your loss, after spinning his tale of how his papers were lost in a fire along with his parents. Never a bad chance to gain sympathy points, even if they won't go far in a place like this. Moving out of the building, Peter takes the paper with the address on it out of his pocket, moving to go find it. After a while, and 2 threats later, Peter manages to make it. What is up with these people? Can't a guy ask for directions? Opening the door, Peter walks up to the lady sitting at the front desk. Hello, I was wondering about the photography position? He asks, not looking up from whatever she was doing, She points to a door in the back, before saying, "Third door on the right." Smiling and giving a quick, "Thanks," Peter makes his way through the door, and to the room. Once there, he knocks twice. Hearing a faint, "Come in," Peter opens the door, revealing a familiar face. "Hey, wait, aren't you the lady from the alleyway?" he questions. The lady looks at him for a moment before relaxing. "Funny running into you here, kid. What can I do you for?" she asks as she sits. "Actually, I saw that you were hiring a photographer, so I wanted to apply," he says, moving forward to stand in front of her desk. "You got any experience?" she asks, moving through a stack of folders. "Yeah," she cuts him off. "You're hired. Do you have any paperwork with you?" Blinking, he places said papers in her stretched out hands. "Good, go down the hall, room 113 on the left, and they'll get you a camera and SD cards. Come back here when you get it, and I'll tell you what you'll be shooting." Not sure what to do, Peter just nods and goes down the hall. Knocking on the door instructed, he watches as it swings open, to reveal a middle-aged man with a short beard with brown hair. He looks up at the light and waves his hand over. "Here's a camera. Know how to use it?" Nodding, Peter grabs the camera the man hands him, before quickly grabbing the brown case tossed at him. Looking up, the man continues. "Good, that's your camera case. There's SD cards in there, along with a charger and a battery pack. Bye," he says as he lightly pushes Peter out, who only manages a quick, "Thank you," before the doors close behind him. "This city is so weird," he thinks as he shakes his head, moving back to the office. Once in, the lady hands him his papers back, along with a badge and a vest with a GN on it. "You'll be attending the Wayne Gala tomorrow night. Here's your ticket, don't lose it. You'll need a suit, or at least a formal outfit. Also, I want you to try and get pictures of the bats. Any you can get, be sure to show me." She rapid fires, and Peter is left nodding as he thinks about what she said, before repeating it to check. "Gala tomorrow night, take pictures of the bats, the vigilantes, right? And I need a suit. Oh, and show you any pictures I get of the bats?" She nods and thinks for a moment. "That's all I got for you today. The gala info is on the ticket. Yes, the vigilantes, and before I forget, you can call me Jen." Nodding, Peter puts the ticket into his folder of paperwork and thanks Jen for the opportunity. "Don't worry about it, kid. It's getting late, so go on home." She makes a shooing motion with her hand. Peter smiles and walks out. Walking down the road, Peter turns the corner before bumping into a wall of yellow. Dropping his folder, papers sliding out. "My bad, didn't see you there," the yellow wall says. Not a wall. Signal. Wait, signal? Looking up, Peter sees a man in yellow and black with a mask on, picking up his folder, sliding the papers back in, and pausing at the ticket before tucking it in as well. Handing it back to Peter, he smiles. "Sorry again. Good thing your papers didn't get damaged," he says. "Oh, thanks," Peter says before pausing. "Picture." Grabbing his camera as Signal turns away to zip off into the skyline, Peter yells out, "Wait!" Signal says, arm out, grappling gun pointed, already shot as it starts to pull him away. "Now or never," Peter thinks as he pulls the cover off and snaps the picture. Time seems to slow for Peter as he lines up the photo and takes it. Time seems to work for Peter as it normally does when he takes pictures, all thanks to his spider abilities, being able to slow things down, or rather him being too fast. Signal doesn't have time to stop his ascent, but sees as Peter waves and shouts a "Thank you!" Smiling, he pulls himself into the air, unaware of the picture that was taken. Looking at the picture, Peter smiles, glad there's an SD card in already. He checked afterwards, panicked, before quickly making his way to the abandoned apartment complex, quickly falling asleep after checking the ticket and making sure he'd be up with plenty of time. With Signal. "You get the pictures?" Duke says into his comms as he watches Peter walk away. "Got him. Good work. Lucky he was carrying his documents," he hears Tim respond. Deadpanning, Duke responds, "Yeah, look, like we didn't spend this evening tailing him."
Tomato, tomato.
He gets back. Not the right saying, he corrects, getting cut off by Oracle.
Take your debates off the main line. Robbery on 9th, signal.
On it, he says, aiming his grappling hook that way.
Why the interest anyway?
Oracle asks.
Think he's part of our case I'm working on now. Not sure though. Seems like he'll be at the gala tomorrow as a photographer.
Tim says. Looks like it'll be one interesting night tomorrow, Duke thinks as he swings down. And that is the end of Chapter 3. Author's notes. I plan on updating on Fridays towards the end of the day. And I don't have many reader's notes, but I think we're doing this on a day-by-day... Yeah, we're doing this on a daily schedule, so tomorrow's post should be up, and that should be done by Lovegood. Yeah, that should be linked in the description as soon as that video goes up. And in the description, there will also be a link to the full playlist of all these videos. And I will see you guys again for the 11th chapter, I believe. All right. Thanks for listening, and bye!